Hey everyone, Richard Bass here from Thriving with Richard Bass. Today we're diving into an absolutely crucial topic: communication tools for our neurodivergent kids. As a special education teacher, I've seen firsthand how the right communication strategies can completely transform a child's ability to express themselves, understand others, and navigate their world. Let's start with something important. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about connection, understanding, and being understood. For our neurodivergent kids, traditional communication methods might not always be the most effective, and that's perfectly okay. Today, I'm going to share practical tools that have worked in classrooms and homes across the country. First, let's talk about visual supports. These are absolute game changers, especially for children with autism, processing disorders, or ADHD. Visual schedules, for example, provide a concrete representation of what's going to happen throughout the day. I have used these extensively in my classroom, and here's why they work. They reduce anxiety about what comes next. They create predictability in an often unpredictable world. They promote independence. They reduce the need for constant verbal reminders. Let me walk you through creating an effective visual schedule. You'll want to use clear, simple images, photos or symbols. Keep the schedule visible and accessible. Include a finished pocket or space. Allow your child to physically move items from to do to done. Celebrate the completion of activities. One approach I've found incredibly effective is the first then board. This simplifies complex schedules into just 2 steps. First we do this, then we do that. It works particularly well when transitioning to non-preferred activities. For example, first homework, then screen time, or first teeth brushing, then story time. Now, let's discuss a tool that's revolutionized communication for many neurodivergent children: AAC, or Augmentative and Alternative Communication. AAC includes everything from simple picture boards to sophisticated speech-generating devices. Here's what many parents don't realize: using AAC will not prevent your child from developing verbal speech. In fact, research shows it often supports speech development. In my years of teaching, I've implemented everything from simple communication boards to high-tech solutions. For beginners, start with a basic choice board focusing on highly motivating items or activities. Even a simple board with options like more, help, break, and all done can dramatically reduce frustration. For children who struggle with expressive language but have receptive understanding, visual conversation starters can be incredibly helpful. These might include emotion cards to help identify feelings, topic cards to initiate social conversations, sequence cards to help tell stories or explain events, problem-solving cards to work through challenges. Let's talk about technology. There are some amazing apps designed specifically for communication support. Some of my favorites include Proloco2Go, TouchChat, Lamp Words for Life, Snap plus Core First. But remember, the most expensive option isn't always the best. The right tool is the one that works for your child. I've seen children make remarkable progress with simple, laminated picture boards when they were introduced appropriately and used consistently. Now let's address a critical component of communication that's often overlooked: receptive language support. Many of our neurodivergent kids process information differently. Here are some strategies that have proven effective: visual timers to support time concepts, social stories to prepare for new situations, video modeling to demonstrate expected behaviors, visual choice boards to understand options, gesture support alongside verbal instructions. Something I've found particularly effective is the concept of communication partners. As adults, we need to adjust our communication style to meet our children where they are. This means using clear, concrete language, giving processing time, checking for understanding, breaking down multi-step directions, being aware of sensory overload. Let me share a classroom scenario. I had a student who would become overwhelmed during group work, often resulting in shutdown or meltdown. We created a simple visual card with 3 options: I need help, I need a break, or I'm okay. This simple tool gave him control over his communication and dramatically reduced his anxiety. The key was teaching him how to use it before he reached his breaking point. For our children with ADHD, communication tools might look a little different. They often benefit from conversation cards to help organize thoughts, verbal rehearsal before speaking in groups, written prompts for longer responses, recording devices for capturing ideas, visual anchor charts for discussion rules. Let's talk about supporting emotional communication, which can be particularly challenging. One tool I have used successfully is the emotional thermometer or zones of regulation. This visual approach helps children identify their emotional state, recognize escalating emotions before reaching crisis, select appropriate coping strategies, communicate their feelings to others, develop self-regulation skills. For children with social communication challenges, structured conversation supports can be incredibly helpful. These might include conversation scripts, topic maintenance cards, turn-taking visuals, question guides, social thinking vocabulary. Something I want to emphasize is the importance of presuming competence. Always assume your child understands more than they can express. This mindset shift is powerful. I've worked with countless children who were thought to have limited understanding until given the right tools to demonstrate their knowledge. Let's address communication during challenging moments. When a child is dysregulated, their communication abilities often decrease significantly. Having a crisis communication plan is essential. This might include a simple visual card showing I need space, a designated quiet area, a communication board with basic needs, a consistent calm approach from adults, simple, concrete language. Remember, communication tools should grow and evolve with your child. What works today might need adjustment tomorrow. The goal is always greater independence and self-expression. Before we wrap up, let me share some implementation tips. Start small. Don't try to implement everything at once. Be consistent. Use the tools across environments. Model the use of communication supports yourself. Celebrate attempts, not just successes. Involve your child in selecting and creating their communication tools. Educate others who interact with your child. Remember that progress may not be linear. One final thought: communication is a human right. Finding the right tools for your child isn't giving in or taking the easy way out. It's providing them with their fundamental right to connect with others and express their thoughts, needs, and wonderful ideas. That's all for today. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Thriving with Richard Bass. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences with communication tools. What's worked for your family? See you in the next video.